Tracy Rediker from tracyknits.com. If you're watching this video, then you must want to learn how to knit in the round using circular needles, better known as the magic loop method. So let's get our yarn and our circular needles and get started. But first, make sure to visit tracyknits.com for the instructions that go along with this video.
To start your knitting in the round with magic loop, you will need a ball of yarn and a set of circular needles. The longer the better. Just makes it a little easier. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to cast on. I am doing a long tail cast on. You do whatever cast on you're comfortable with. We're going to cast on all our stitches onto one needle, just like you would with straight knitting. Okay, we now have 40 stitches on our needle, as you can see, straight across, and I am going to slide all these stitches onto the wire. You can see they're now on the nice flexible wire, which makes it a little easier to manipulate them. Now you're going to take half the stitches and pull the wire through. Okay, that's half my stitches. And you see how I bent it in half with the wire coming through? We're going to pull it through there. Don't be afraid, they're not going to come off unless you tug too hard and yank the wire right through. We're going to push the stitches onto the needles at the end. This makes it easier to see what we're doing. And you are going to be putting half of those stitches onto the needle. Now, you can see that you've got half your stitches on one needle, half your stitches on the other, and they're connected by the wire over here. And you've got your yarn attached to the back needle. That is very important because that will help us go in the round. You want all of your knitting, you see your little cast on row on the inside untwisted, and your yarn attached to the back needle. We are going to push the back needle stitches back onto the wire, and you're going to be creating that magic loop. See, now you've got one side loose, the other side loose. These are just being held there like as if you had them on a piece of scrap yarn, and you're going to knit into the front side using the yarn that's attached to the back. Now this pattern calls for a 2x2 rib, so I'm going to knit those first two stitches and purl those next two stitches. Okay, so our last stitch on the first needle. Now, as you can see, we went all the way across and rib stitch, and now we're going to knit on the second needle. What you want to do is you want to keep that on that needle, hold it tight, and pull this wire. I usually use a little pushing motion too, just to get it through that first one. It's sometimes a little tight. And pull it, don't pull too hard because you don't want to pull the needle out. But just gently pull it around, and there you go, you're ready to do the next stitch. So pull your back needle through, don't tangle in that yarn, and get to work. As you can see, we've knit 3 inches, and we have our 2 needles still attached to the little piece of tubing and our yarn. So let's get started casting off. First, pull your back needle through as you've done before. And we're going to knit the first 2 stitches and then pass the yarn over. Continue this across the row. And here we are with our last few stitches. Slip that stitch over. And we've completed the first half of our cast off row. Now we're going to pull the needle through as we've done before, through this whole project, and finish casting off just as we did the first half of our stitches. Okay, and we'll cast off the last few stitches, pull our yarn through, and you can see it makes a lovely cuff that you can wear around or use it as a coffee cozy when you're out getting your cup. Make sure to check out my blog, tracyknits.com, or visit my shop on Etsy, tracyknits.etsy.com.